Okay, this is the Game is on 100 here with the video, and this video is going to be an angry video. I was hearing all the from the panelists today, saying for the Bears and the Seattle game coming up this Sunday, and it really got to me is the fact that they are not giving the Bears a shadow of a doubt a chance to beat Seattle. They're saying that Seattle is going to go to Chicago and beat Chicago this time in the divisional round. That is so sickening to me. They're going back to what happened in the past with the game in week 6. All right, as all you Bears fans know, the fourth phase of the Bears, you know this. In that game, the Bears could have won that game. They could have won that game, but they missed opportunities to win that game. Well, one of the thing is the offensive line, you know, wasn't that good at the time. The offensive line gave up 6 sacks on Cutler and also a safety on Cutler in that game. The Bears were 0 for 12 on third down conversions. So without a shadow of a doubt, they're saying that the Bears are not going to win this game against Seattle. Well, what has all the sports writers done all this year to the Bears? And that is they criticize the Bears each and every week. Some of them did give the Bears their props, but majority of them doesn't give the Bears their due. I know they're saying that Seattle beat the Bears in week 6. All right, Seattle beat the Bears in week 6. All right, we had to go do some struggles, with the offensive line, with Mike Martz's offense. The only reason was the offensive line. Jay Cutler not getting rid of the ball. He was taking seven step drops. He should have not took step drops. What Jay Cutler should have done, he should have got rid of the ball quicker, move around in the pocket like he's been doing, but he didn't do that. But ever since after the bye week, the running game was non-existent. And what happened after the bye week? Lovie Smith told Mike Tice and Mike Martz and said, hey, we got to run the ball. We cannot allow to pass like what we did in the first 7 games. We cannot rely on the pass. We got to run the ball, so allow Jay Cutler to get comfortable, get him in rhythm, and that's will allow for Jay Cutler to use the passing game. And that's what the Bears did in their 7 of their last 9 games. They ran the ball effectively. In those games. Matt Forte was averaging about 80 to 90 yards a game during that span, with a couple of over 100-yard games in the span of those 9 games. And that would allow the Bears to be able to beat Seattle this time around. The Bears have an improved offensive line than what they had in the first 7 games. The offensive line has been intact for 9 straight weeks. The Bears has won 7 out of 9 games with that offensive line. And I can't stand the fact that these columnists on ESPN, they're not giving the Bears a shadow of a doubt a chance to win. I know the Bears are favored by 10 points in this game, but they're saying that game shouldn't even be favored by 10 points for the Bears. So what does this now do? They're saying that the Bears don't have a chance to win. Well, newsflash, every single time, whenever they criticize the Bears of not winning, what happens? They win. I'm getting so sick of these sports writers not giving the Bears their due. I'm getting sick of them criticizing the Bears over and over. We don't know what type of Bears offense is going to come. We don't know what Jay Cutler's going to do. We don't know this. We don't know that. Well, one thing's for sure. There's a reason why the Bears won their 7 out of their last 9 games. They did it with a steady offensive line, an improved offensive line, and it was key that I knew at the beginning of the season they should have had Roberto Garza starting at the right guard position, not at left guard. That was a total mistake on the Bears for doing that. That's a mistake on Mike Tice. I can explain why they wanted to have Levi Horn be the starting right guard. But come on, Roberto Garza's natural spot is the right guard. And you got Olin Kreutz. He is a veteran on the offensive line, even though he is aging. But he is still a veteran presence on that offensive line. Then they moved Chris Williams over to the left guard, and that is a good spot for Chris Williams to be at the left guard spot. And Frank Omiel has done a fairly decent job on the left tackle side. And what can I say about Jamarcus Webb? Jamarcus Webb was a 7th-round rookie coming in. They didn't expect Jamarcus Webb to start. And Jamarcus Webb is a strong tackle. When he was before he got drafted by the Bears, Mike Tice said that Jamarcus Webb is like one of the strongest offensive tackles that is out there. He is incredibly strong. He is like 6'7", 330 pounds of sure strength. When he gave Mike Tice, when he was doing with the pads, he chipped one of Mike Tice's teeth when he was doing a workout with him before, when the Bears did their scouting before they drafted him. So I am a key plus with Jamarcus Webb. Jamarcus Webb is going to be the future right tackle of the Chicago Bears. He's going to be the future for that offensive line. And now they're saying that Seattle is going to come in and beat Chicago. This time around, it's not going to happen. What has the Bears done this season? Except for the first 7 games. I know they lost 2 in a row to Seattle and Washington. They should have won. They should have beat Seattle. They should have beat Washington, but they didn't do that. And then what happened after that? After the Bears suffered a loss or a huge loss, what happens the next week? The Bears respond. They correct what they need to do wrong. That's what they did after the bye week. After they played Washington, they all decided that said, hey, why don't we just run the ball? We need to run the ball more instead of passing. And that's what the Bears did. The Bears ran the ball more than they passed, and that helped Jay Cutler out. Jay Cutler was 16 touchdowns to 16 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. That is actually pretty good for Jay Cutler, and Jay Cutler has cut down his interception total from last year from 26 to 16. That's a 10 differential in what he has done last year. He has done a better job with the ball. He hasn't thrown a lot of picks this year. He threw 16 picks this year, but that is way better than throwing 26 picks a year ago. I know he didn't have as many passing yards as he did last year, but he did have he threw over for 3,000 yards. He threw over 20-plus touchdowns. So in back-to-back seasons for the Bears, and that is like the first time the Bears have ever done that. The only other person that did that was in the 90s, and that was Eric Kramer, was the only one that did that for the Bears in the mid-90s when he was quarterback. So you got to give Jay Cutler his props. He has turned it around in his second year with the Bears. And now all these sports writers are trying to criticize the Bears for them. They're not going to win this game. Well, newsflash, every single time, whenever they criticize the Bears have responded and kicked ass. What about the game when they played the Eagles? All right, they didn't expect the Bears to beat the Eagles. And what happened? The Bears contained Michael Vick. They shut down Michael Vick. They beat the Eagles. That's what the Bears needed. They shut the mouths on the critics for that week. And then when they went into New England, I know they got that fist in their mouth by playing New England, but New England was on a hot streak at the time. And you know how New England is. They're a damn good team. But what happened after the New England game? The Bears bounced back. They bounced back in a big way. That's what happens with the Bears whenever they lose a game. They correct it. They fix it. And when the next time they play, they turn it around. Just like back in 2006, in the last season game, it was on December 31st. It was New Year's Eve. It was a Sunday night game. The Green Bay Packers beat the Chicago Bears. I don't know what was the final score in that game, but Green Bay Packers did beat the Bears. What happened after that when the Bears lost to the Packers? They had their bye week. They had a first round bye into the playoffs. They were the number 1 seed. And then when Seattle came to town, the Bears did like clockwork. They managed. They overcome the week loss against the Packers. And the Bears beat the Seattle Seahawks 27-24 in overtime. It was a bounce back game for the Bears. That's what I'm expecting from the Bears this time around. When they lost the last game to the Packers 10-3, the Bears showed signs that they can have a dominating defensive game. All I know is that on Sunday afternoon, the Bears is going to run the ball more times than they're going to pass the ball. I know that for a fact. The Bears last time when they played Seattle, they virtually dominated pretty much on the running game. They ran the damn ball. And they threw a few long passes in that game as well, but they ran the ball. That's what the Bears are going to do. Majority of the game, they're going to run the ball. And now that's going to allow Jay Cutler to get his receivers in motion. Greg Olsen has to get more involved. Johnny Knotts, Devin Hester, they have to get more involved with the offense, even including Chester Taylor. I'm feeling Chester Taylor always comes through in the playoffs. Look what he did last year for the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs. He came out big for the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs. So I can expect this from Chester Taylor to come in and help out what he needs to do in that game. And from this point on, we'll go see what happens for this upcoming game with the Bears in Seattle. I'm getting so sick of these sports writers criticizing the Bears. They're saying the Bears are not going to win this game. They're basing by their stuff what happened in week 6. I'm getting sick of it. It's week 6 of the season. Get over it. It's different. The Bears are a different team now than they were in the first 7 games. They're more balanced of a team than they were in the first 7 games. They realize that, but they're not just saying it. So this epic rant has gone long enough. Like I said, I'm going to do my preview video of this game. It'll probably be up Friday or Saturday. I'm not too sure when it's going to be up, but it's going to be up. I expect the Bears to bounce back from the loss against the Packers. They're going to win the game. And I have a feeling that that's going to happen. Then they can go and shut the sports writers up. I would like to see the Bears dominate the Seattle Seahawks, kick them in their ass, and send them back to Seattle. And that will shut up the critics. So in closing, this is the Game Is On 100. I want to give the love to all the fourth phase of the Bears fans, especially Bears Pound 0809. You're a true diehard Bears fan. I respect you. Let's go get them. So That's all I got to say. And I'll give you my preview of the upcoming game either on Friday or Saturday. So I will talk to you all later.